we welcome you into this presentation of the South Atlantic Conference on the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing, here on a windy, overcast Wednesday evening for some SAC soccer as the Catawba Indians come to town to take on the red-hot Lenoir-Rhyne University Bears here on a Wednesday night from the Moretz Sports Complex. Eric Bach and Jacob Parkinson, very happy you're choosing to spend part of your Wednesday night with us. Game 1 of 2 tonight between the Bears and the Indians. The women's game coming up is for first place in the South Atlantic Conference. But first, Jake, the Bears on the men's side right now, they've won 3 straight. They had a little bit of a dry spell in mid-September, but have really found their footing recently and took a nice 4-1 win over Lincoln Memorial, who was in first place in the SAC going into that game. But Bears right now, Jake, playing their best soccer of the year.
Yeah, like you say, in September they're having a bit of a dry spell, but looking back at that game on Saturday, was it?
Yes.
Lincoln Memorial, they played so well. 4-1 win, scored within the first minute, and then the second half was just amazing by the Bears. And you wouldn't have been able to tell Lincoln Memorial were first in the conference. They made the Bears look much better team in that game. Bears
are playing very well right now, and Catawba's no slouch. They will provide a huge challenge tonight. They defeated Coker, who was number 4 in the country, after the Bears beat them 2-1, and then the Indians did the same, a 2-1 win over Coker, then a loss to Wingate. So they've been very competitive against the top of the league and will certainly give the Bears a good challenge tonight.
Yeah, and there's that local rivalry there as well.
That's right.
So that'll always make for an exciting game, no matter where they are in the conference.
National anthem is now. We'll step aside and come back right after. Back here at the Moretz Sports Complex on a very windy, gusty night here for soccer in Hickory. Eric Bach and Jacob Parkinson here with you, just seconds away from kickoff in Game 1 of this doubleheader between the Bears of Lenoir-Rhyne and the Indians of Catawba. Jake, you know, this burst recently for the Bears has been fueled by a couple of SAC Offensive Player of the Weeks. Bears have won the award the last 2 weeks. This week was Victor Cascone. Week before was Noah Tiefel. So goals have been coming in bunches from those two, and those are the guys that you really look to offensively if you're the Bears.
Oh yeah, Cascone at the weekend had such a good game. He was unlucky not to get a few, to be honest. There was one, I think it was Cascone, hit the post from just outside the box in the first half, and then in the second half scores a very good goal. But to be honest, they're all dangerous. They're all dangerous, and using them wing backs as well. As long as they put in the crosses into the box, anyone can get onto the end of them.
Victor just scored his 30th career goal on Saturday. Has, out of the 3 straight wins for the Bears, Cascone has scored the game winner in 2 of them. He had the winner on last Wednesday against Coker in that 2-1 double overtime victory. And then the game before that on the road at Barton also had the game winner. Bears were down 1-0 at halftime and scored 2 second-half goals to come back and win that one. And obviously, you mentioned earlier, Tiefel scored 1 minute into the Lincoln Memorial game on Saturday, and the Bears never looked back. Tiefel ended up with 2. Benny Genizer scored his first career goal in that game. Cascone had one as well. So Catawba's 5-2-2 on the year, but they've played 4 double OT games. 2 of them have ended in draws, 1 win and 1 loss. So the Indians are a couple of bounces, a couple of chances away from maybe even having a better record than they currently do.
You mentioned Benny Genizer. He played so well when he came on at the weekend. I couldn't actually fault him once he came on. Ended up with the goal, and I think he got an assist as well to go with that.
He did. He assisted on Tiefel's second goal. So we're underway. Bears in the whites with the black stripes. Catawba in red, white, and blue. Navy blue jersey and shorts. Red shoulders, white collar. And the first play down there is a goal kick in front of Camden Coleman as Solano Birch had a little bit of a run down there. But Indians are coached by Ken Hassler in his 9th season. Jack Winter on the bench for the Bears just picked up his 50th victory at LR last Wednesday against Coker as that one's turned over back to the Indians on their half.
It'll be interesting to see how they deal with the wind today. It's a very, very windy day.
And it seems to be blowing from right to left on the screen. There's a good chance early by Lewis Moore that the center just went a little bit wide, but Moore is able to keep it in there in the corner. Harry Rowe, the Englishman, wearing that wrist wrap.
He probably wouldn't appreciate you calling him English.
I know, he's from Wales. I know. Speaking to an actual Englishman, I probably should get that right.
He's got his English partner on the right-hand side of him, though. Ollie Gardner.
From the United Kingdom. How's that?
Yeah, that'll do.
That'll do.
British.
Bears are a little bit short-handed tonight. Diego Delgado was a little bit banged up, but he's on the ball right there. So they were going to test it to see whether or not he could go in pregame warm-ups, and apparently he's been given the go-ahead as he's playing that right back next to Danny Fernandez. And Chavi Moya out tonight, suspended, picked up his 5th yellow of the season on Saturday, so that brings a 1-game suspension. So he's not a starter,
was his
but
first touch of the game as well.
Yeah,
he came on and gave that penalty away straight away.
Chavi is one of the kindest guys, just fun-loving type guys, but he is intense and he's physical, and sometimes it goes a little bit too far. Here's Harry Rowe, centered up, and the Bears find the back of the net early. Benny Genizer gets his 2nd in as many games.
And that's the fullbacks combining again.
What a center there from Harry Rowe.
I don't understand. Surely the opposition teams need to be watching these fullbacks and how they're playing. The amount of goals I've seen scored from Harry Rowe coming in on that left-hand side and putting the ball into the box, and someone just needs to put their foot on it. And in the end, it was Benny Genizer.
Benny gets his 2nd career goal in as many games. He had gone all the way through his career without finding the back of the net, and then in 2 league games in a row, he does so here at home. Less than 3 minutes in. Good start for the Bears. This is a take care of business type game for the Bears. Queens coming into town on Saturday. They're near the top of the standings. Bears immediately get it right back.
That's almost a carbon copy of the goal that the Bears scored within the first minute of the game against Lincoln Memorial.
That one was scored by Tiefel. This one by Genizer. But 2 goals from the 2 Germans early in the last 2 games. Genizer and Tiefel. Benny from Lobau, Germany. Noah from Nuremberg. Here's an actual Englishman, Ollie Gardner, whose pass gets intercepted there by Lewis Moore, but Catawba can't do anything with it. Right back to the Bears. As the rain has started to fall, we expected that tonight. Came a little earlier than expected. Thought that this first game of the double might be safe from the rain. But here we are, as that one goes way long, and it turns into a goal kick for Luca Tomasi, pardon me. He's the goalie for Catawba, junior from Davidson, North Carolina. Comes out of his box to grab that one, and still looks like a little bit of frustration with the goalie Tomasi and his defense right there as they were shouting back and forth at each other.
There's just a lack of communication before that where he kicks it into his back. Keeper was quite frustrated.
We have a whistle. This is similar to the game that these two played in the spring. These two were in the same pod in the spring, back when the SAC was in COVID protocol, and these two played 3 times. But when the Bears went to Catawba last year, or in the spring, I keep saying last year, it was like 6 months ago, the men's game actually got canceled because the weather was so bad. The women's game was barely able to play beforehand, so the rain is coming down hard. You can see it there on the stream.
Sometimes, though, when it's weather like this, it favours the attacking team. The ball just skids around on the surface. It can be hard, unpredictable for the defenders, also the goalkeeper as well.
Cascone couldn't handle the pass there from Rowe, but Rowe pokes it right back in. You can hear the rain just absolutely coming down. This is easily the hardest it's rained during a game all season long.
Ollie Gardner and Harry Rowe will be used to it.
Well, this is an everyday occurrence there in the UK, huh?
Yeah, they'll feel at home today. They'll have a good game.
Already an assist for Harry Rowe. To that man right there, Benny Genizer. And you combine the rain with the wind, you know, it's just blowing so much from right to left, which is the way the Bears are going right now.
They've not decided to put any balls through the air. I thought they might have decided to use some long balls with the wind behind them, but they're still playing their normal football, playing on the floor, passing it around, moving quickly. So it's good to see they've not changed their tactics for the weather. Here's Benny Genizer on the right hand side.
Goes all the way in, and it's a goal kick. Benny already scored the first goal less than 3 minutes into this one. And a run there on the outside, but just a little bit short.
Now surely this goal kick is going to be a short one on the floor. If he puts it in the air, it's just going to hang up there.
Yeah, it's just going to get knocked down by the wind.
Although it looks like they're setting up for a regular goal kick, so he's going to try it.
No pressure from the Bears either, so We have our first substitution, and Miguel Montano comes into the game for Delgado. Thought that Delgado's minutes would probably be limited tonight. He's not at 100% health, but Jack Winter and staff deemed that he was good enough to go. But already with the quick lead for the Bears, certainly not a situation where you want to push somebody too hard. Here's Miguel. He scored the first goal of his Bear career a couple of games ago at Barton. That really jump-started the Bear offense, led to the Cascone winner a few minutes later. Here's Victor. Gives it back. Carlos Montalillo Lobo. They say they tip it. The Bears say Catawba tipped it, but the referee says no, so another goal kick for the Indians.
That all started from a very good ball from Miguel from about the halfway line.
It was.
Out to Benny, I think it was. But yeah, it all started from there. Just cut out the midfield.
10 minutes in. Rain has backed off a bit for now. Montalillo Lobo was another question mark health-wise tonight, but he has got the start. He and Delgado both dealing with a bit of a groin injury, but Carlos is good to go. So is Diego, but he's out of the game now.
It's been quite an intense schedule for the Bears.
Yeah, after they played 2 games in like 3 weeks in early to mid-September, and now that league play has really kicked off, things are at least a 2-game per week clip for the Bears, sometimes 3. See if Catawba can get something going. This is Birch, second on the team with 3 goals. Good touch there in the middle, off the left foot of Simona Trenton, pardon me. 2 goals and 4 assists for him. Italian forward. He'll take the corner now as the first one of the game goes to Catawba as it was off a Bear defender on the shot in. Headed out of there by Montano. Another good job by Miguel right off the bench, making an instant impact. That's the thing about this Bear team. They have such good depth, and Jack Winter can feel good about going to just about anybody on that bench. There's Noah Tiefel. Missed the first 2 of the season as that throw-in goes to the Bears. As Catawba tried to turn it around quickly there with Gage Bernard. There's Danny Fernandez in the middle, reigning SAC Defensive Player of the Year. Got a feature coming on him and Victor Cascone early next week. They've played each other in the USL final. Danny with Des Moines, Victor with the North Carolina Fusion out of Greensboro. And there's a lot of good conversations that came of that. Here's Benny Genizer, already 1 goal, centers it up. Few too many bodies there as he tried to get it to Tiefel. Now Jaime Poza. Nifty little move. Ends up off of Tomasi.
The Bears have controlled this first half completely. Other than that one shot, that they've conceded, they've literally dominated this half from start until now.
Rain has slowed down to a drizzle. The wind seems like it has somewhat backed off as well. But it's North Carolina, so the rain could be back at any time. Big physical play there in the middle by big center back, Alejo Zurovsky, pardon me. He is a big man in the middle. It's actually Andrew Twamley. Got the 5 and the 6 mixed up. Twamley, 6'4", 190-pounder from Ireland, native of Dublin. Posa onside. No, he's not. He waves his finger and says, yes, I was onside, but the linesman disagrees. So back to the Indians. Very close, though. And the right idea there for Fernandez trying to feed him. Be great for the Bears to see Jaime Posa find the back of the net. Don't know how much of that Coker game you saw a week ago, Jake, but the Bears won that game 2-1 in double overtime on Cascone's winner, but it should have been about 6-1 with all the chances the Bears had. And Posa was right in the middle of that. Just could not find the back of the net.
Sometimes it just takes one goal to go in and then the floodgate's sort of open for that player, but yeah, it's annoying when you're going through a goal drought as a striker. Obviously that's your main role, put the ball in the back of the net. Once he gets one, I'm sure he'll start scoring on a regular basis. It's just getting that first one. No real pressure at the back from the Indians, so the Bears can just have all the time in the world to pick their pass.
Another good ball there from Montano. Rowe gets to it first. Defender falls down for Catawba. But a physical play there leads to a corner. First one of the game for the Bears off the foot of Gage Bernard. So you'll see Harry Rowe take this. Takes the vast majority of the set pieces for LR. Bears had their set pieces working.
They've been doing a few recently where they just cut it back onto the edge of the box and take a shot, so he's not doing that one now.
Ends up off the head of Catawba. Cascone barely beaten to the ball there by Birch. And the first foul of the game, Victor can't believe it, as he's whistled for that one. Catawba's saying they should have let it go too because they thought they had a chance out of it. Goal by Benny Genizer, less than 3 minutes in. Got us to where we are. 1-0 lead for LR, trying to win their 4th straight. But the sack is very much there for the taking this year for the Bears. And if they continue on the path that they're on, I wouldn't bet against them.
The win against Lincoln Memorial was a huge boost for the Bears in the sack, though.
And Coker, who surprisingly had risen to number 4 in the country. Not a traditionally strong program throughout the years, but the Cobras have themselves a good team this year. A team that has fallen to these two that you see in front of you. First the Bears, then Catawba. See a lot of blue jerseys around Victor Cascone, who's whistled for his second foul in the last couple of minutes. Victor is intense and purposeful as they come, but just the kindest, most accommodating guy there is. People don't talk enough about the job Camden Coleman has done in Juan Basabi's absence. Juan probably less than 2 weeks away, they think.
It's so impressive for a backup goalkeeper, supposedly.
Right.
He seems like a first-team
Backup
starter all the time.
Right, and who his coaches say could be a starter on just about every other team they play. Certainly in no rush to get Basabi back. You don't want to rush him back health-wise, and certainly Coleman's done more than adequate job.
He had a good game on the weekend as well. I mean, there was no stopping the penalty.
Nope.
But
that was Lincoln Memorial's only goal. It was quick answer after Tiefel's opener just a minute into the game, and then Lincoln Memorial got one on a... Was it a handball in the box? I can't exactly remember how it ended up.
It was a push in the box.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a foul.
Yep. By Chavi Moya.
Yeah, that's what led to the yellow card. And then the subsequent suspension for Chavi tonight after he picked up his 5th yellow. Harry Rowe already has 1 assist tonight. Tiefel swung and missed there. That was a really nice ball in there from Harry Rowe.
That was a good ball.
Yes, it was. Off the foot of Joseph Allerton down that far side. Allerton, sophomore from York, England. Not sure what that call was. Must have been on Ollie Gardner. Over 20 gone in this first half. It's the first real set piece in the middle for Catawba tonight. Simona Trenton will take it and just fire it right at net. Coleman lets it go by. That's knowing your spacing out there, because on the very wet track, took a short hop, and Camden knew exactly where the post was and let it by. That was a little risky there, huh, Jake?
Very, very. But he knows where his goalposts are. He had confidence in his own abilities. But you see what I mean about the rain there? How quickly the ball just skidded off the surface.
Yeah.
If that was on target, the speed that just skids off the grass, it's going to make it difficult for him today.
See a lot of guys on both sides kind of misjudging the bounces too.
Yep. Yeah, it does that. It makes it a hard night for the defenders.
Rain has completely stopped after it downpoured for about 5 straight minutes early on in this game.
I would say same for the wind as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit more neutral now.
Just a little bit of nasty weather came through. Hopefully that's the last of it tonight, with the women's game coming up next. Between the number 14 Indians and the Bears, both undefeated in sack play. Big center back, Danny Fernandez. 6'2", 175-pounder. 2 center backs tonight are big, physically imposing guys. Is that a position that you generally look for bigger guys to play?
Oh yeah, definitely. You want someone that is strong, someone that is big. but you also want someone there that's fast and can keep up with the attackers. You can have all the strength in the world, but if you can't keep up with the striker, then they're just going to put long balls over the top every time. So you've got to be physically in very good shape. I think they're playing 3 centre backs, the Bears.
Yeah.
Montano, Ollie Gardner,
Yep.
and
Danny Fernandez.
Danny Fernandez,
yeah. Who's the more typical center back. He's the main guy.
But that just gives them that security at the back when Benny and can't think of when Benny and Harry go up, they have that security there at the back. They can sort of stay up there for a bit longer because they have the 3 centre backs rather than the 2.
The position that Harry Rowe plays is just so much running. I mean, he goes from box to box.
Oh yeah, when you watch the players that get substituted on and off, it's Benny and Harry that roll on and off because it's just such a physically demanding position, especially the style of play that the Bears use.
This is a new system for Harry Rowe, according to Jack Winter. That position that he's playing was not very familiar to him when he got here, and they just liked his physicality and his endurance. I mean, it's all about endurance at that point, and
yeah,
that's why you see Harry Rowe on this near side.
I mean, I think the physicality in the European game anyway is a big thing, especially at the lower levels. So I would say for Harry and Ollie, they probably dealt well with the physicality.
So we are stopping play now. There's, for weather, I'm not exactly sure what the decision was because the weather seems to have kind of let up. Maybe there must have been lightning somewhere around, but the referee on the far side waved his flag and said that we needed to stop. So we'll do that with 20:01 to go on the game clock here in the first half. The Bears leading Catawba 1-0. And now, I'm not exactly sure what they're doing, but the Bears are leaving the field. You see Harry Rowe coming at you, wringing out his jersey. So we will enter a weather delay and update you with any information as soon as we have it. But stick with us here on the Bears Sports Network because by the looks of it, I don't anticipate this delay being too long. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing. We are 6 minutes away from resuming play here at the Moretz Sports Complex between Lenoir-Rhyne and Catawba. Weather has cleared. Teams are on the field warming up, and we will resume play with 20 minutes to go in the first half in a little under 6 minutes. Weather has cleared for now. About ready to roll. 20:01 to go in this first half. Lenoir-Rhyne leads Catawba 1-0. A goal less than 3 minutes in by Benny Genizer. The difference right now. Perfect center from Harry Rowe to set it up. Eric Bach and Jacob Parkinson. And Jake, I think most people watching would agree that the Bears really were in control those first 25 minutes. Yeah,
definitely. The Bears were in control from the start. I thought that they came into it a bit more towards the Catawba, came into it a bit more towards the end of the, I would say the half, well, the end of the time before stoppage. The last 10 minutes, they were more into the game, but yeah, the Bears have been dominating so far.
Catawba had a couple of chances, but nothing super substantial.
No, they had that one shot which flashed just wide of the right post, and then the other effort that was a free kick. But other than that, they've not really had too many clear-cut chances. The Bears have done a good job of keeping them out.
Be interesting to see how these two come out of this weather delay. The Catawba went back to their bus. They did not go into their locker room inside the Schuford Gymnasium building. Bears did, went back into their locker room, kind of reset. Indians went back to the bus, which I thought was a little weird that it wouldn't go back, at least indoors. But we're back underway. See if Catawba can use this weather delay to their advantage and maybe pick up the pace a little bit here.
I think it might work to their advantage. Obviously, the Bears were controlling the game before this weather delay, so if it's broken up the flow of their play, then Catawba could make use of it.
Noah Tiefel and Jaime Poza up front. Victor Cascone, Jaime DeManuel in the middle. There's Victor intercepting the pass. Leaves it for his midfield mate. Carlos Montaleo-Lobo has a good little run here. 5'7" Carlos leaves it for Tiefel. And Harry Rowe, who picked up an assist on Benny Genizer's goal, falls down in the corner. Obviously things are pretty slick still, even though the rain has stopped. It didn't really rain for most of the weather delay.
The weather delay, funnily enough, was when we had the best weather so far.
I know. Yeah, no, I can't dispute that. There was some lightning in the area, so that is why we delayed for just over a half hour, about 40 minutes. Don't forget the women's game coming up after this. Poza sends one in. Grabbed out of there by Tomasi. Just a little bit too close to the net that time for Jaime Poza. Nice job there by Gardner to win that ball with the header boxed out. Simona Trenton, who is the second leading scorer on this Catawba team. Seems like Victor Cascone has had a little bit more room today. You see teams just honing in on him so much for good reason. He's got 30 career goals now. 10 of those 30, by the way, Jacob, are game-winning goals. So a third of his career goals were game-winning goals. That's pretty darn impressive.
That's very impressive. It shows that he turns up on the big occasions when you need him. He's a player that you definitely want on the pitch.
He's got 3 goals this year, and 2 of them are game winners in the last 2 road games for the Bears. This one doesn't get out of the box, though. Danny Fernandez makes sure it does. And then a turnover. Cascone tries to chip it in. Can he get it? Just a little bit far. That was the right move there, but
if Cascone had taken that touch, though, he could have maybe played someone through or taken it a bit further. I think he didn't really realise how much time he actually had on the ball then.
Rare misfire there from the reigning SAC Offensive Player of the Year and Player of the Week.
That was poor by Catawba to give it away in their own half.
Ran into Christian Stryker today he works for the South Atlantic Conference as like the media director for the league, and he certainly knows Victor's name. We were talking about lots of different things, but Victor was one of them, and he has really made his mark not only on this university but on this league as a whole.
He's making sure everyone in the SAC knows his name.
Victor tries to send it in for Noah Tiefel there, who was offside. Don't think he was going to be able to run that down anyway, but it didn't matter. Second offside of the night for the Bears. Jaime Poza was offside earlier. And the keeper, Gianluca Tomasi. 6 foot, 170-pound junior from Davidson, North Carolina. Ball one away from Rowe by Birch. And Cascone pokes it back to Harry Rowe. What do you call people from Wales?
Welsh.
Oh, duh. Duh. I don't know why I asked that. I was about to say something else that would have been very wrong, so I'm glad I asked.
The Welshman.
The Welshman. That pass to nobody. But Montano, not quite sure what he was supposed to do with it there.
I mean, in England we have other names for them as well, but not stream-worthy.
Yeah, I can't believe that I forgot that people from Wales are called Welshmen. That's a... Catawba with control here, their offensive zone on the far side. Just under 14 to go here in this first half. Controlled and turned over. Jaime Poza, can he beat the keeper there? He cannot. Tomasi boots it out of there sky high. The wind has calmed down too. First, 10 minutes of this game, Jacob? It was just brutally windy.
It was very, very windy. I mean, the Bears had the advantage because the wind was behind them, but yeah, it was windy and it was unsettling for...
Oh, Coleman and his defender crash. That's Harry Rowe down there as that ball got sent in for Birch.
It looked like an elbow to the head.
And I think it was friendly fire. I think it was his own guy, Coleman. Birch was right there, but Rowe got clotheslined there by Camden Coleman.
And he's holding the back of his head now, so I think we're going to take some time here.
13-13 to go. This is not what you want. Bears have had injury troubles. I mean, they lost Juan Basabe, their starting goalkeeper, on the first day of training, a shoulder injury. Had other various injuries. None of them as severe as Basabe's. No significant time missed for anyone except for Juan, but Harry Rowe still on his back there in the middle of the 18. His trainer Alley is out. Now he's up. And I think he's sitting up now.
Yeah.
But his teammates around him, Fernandez, Poza, Montano, obviously Coleman there. And now walking off on his own power. That's really good to see, but just looks a little worse for wear. So I would think that it is Bohiguis that will probably come in for him. Looks like he's getting ready there on the bench, so I think that is the move that Jack Winter will make. It is.
Well, it was Bohiguez that scored that goal against Coker, wasn't it?
Yes, the first one that was, 30, 40 yards out. Just an absolute, that was, in my opinion, the most impressive goal of the entire year for the Bears. And it really, Coker had scored first in that game. It really kind of settled things down for the Bears. If there was ever a time that the Bears needed a goal, it was then. And Bohiguez delivered. So he comes in for Rowe, who continues to be tended to on the sideline there by the training staff.
There's so much precautions of head injuries now in the game, and rightly so. But I think
soccer sometimes sees more concussions than American football because there's no protection on your head.
Yep. Yeah, it can be very dangerous, especially if your two players going up for a header.
Yep, two players going for a header. You saw exactly what just happened. There's a chance for the Bears. Montaleo Lobo couldn't do anything with it. I think he held on to it a touch too long. Fernandez, long, hard pass there for Montaleo Lobo. There's a foul won by Jaime DeManuel there. And Allerton of Catawba.
And they've not got their normal free kick taker on the pitch now.
Nope, Harry Rowe is normally in charge of this situation.
Looks like they're putting maybe Benny G. Nizer on it.
Benny's got the goal tonight for the Bears. I think Jaime Poza will take it, actually.
I was reading that number 7 as the number 2.
They're hard to see. Perfect in! Oh! Danny Fernandez came within inches of picking up his first goal of the year. But how about that set piece there from Jack Winter?
That was a great ball into the box.
It was perfect off the foot of Poza. Fernandez, he is one of the funniest people, too. He will be talking about that for weeks now, that he just missed his chance at his first goal of the year.
He's probably put that one away in training so many times as well. Then when it's come down to it.
Strong header there that Tiefel can't handle. Uh-oh. Carlos Montaleo Lobo goes down. He was nursing that, and Coleman saves it. Oh, man. Man down for the Bears is Montaleo Lobo's on his rear end, but that was easily the best chance of the game for Catawba, and Coleman comes up huge again. But we said earlier that Montaleo Lobo was not 100%. The groin not perfectly healthy, and he immediately reached for it after he lunged after that ball. So the 10-ish minutes since the weather delay have been disastrous for the Bears health-wise. Harry Rowe goes down on a friendly fire collision with Coleman, and now Montaleo Lobo, who wasn't 100% healthy coming in, may have just aggravated that groin. Being helped up. And very gingerly walking off with the help of trainer. So it looks like Jaheim Smith will come in for him. Jaheim, who got some early experience in his career, the freshman from Miami, Florida, played a pivotal role in the Bears' opening win of the year against Florida Tech here when Tiefel was hurt. So now Tiefel's back. Montaleo Lobo goes down. You hate to see that for Carlos, who is the smartest guy on the team, according to his head coach.
It's a good sign that he's walked off the pitch by himself.
Yeah. It was gingerly, but he did it under his own power. So trainer Allie's got her hands full over there on the bench with Rowe and Montaleo Lobo. Lots of depth, though. We talked about this earlier. Bears have so much depth. Smith has meaningful playing time in his first season in Hickory. And Jack Winter said after that opener against Florida Tech that Smith was the reason they won. He didn't score, but in a 2-0 win for the Bears that saw an insurance goal late from Jaime DeManuel. Montaleo Lobo scored in that game as well.
Looks like they're just passing it around the back, looking for an opening. Being patient with it.
Montano finds a slice in the Catawba D, but Bohigua's not able to run it down. This is situations where you really rely on your leadership. The Cascones, Fernandez's, lots of seniors. Here's Victor. It's pushed off the ball there by Birch. Birch, I would say, has been the most active Catawba player on the ball. But now it feels like the strategy has changed a bit for the Bears. They've kind of let off the gas offensively since the Genizer goal, and since we've picked back up here after the weather delay. Played about 12 minutes now.
Yeah, I would just say they're being patient with it now. They know there's no real need for them to get a goal.
Yep.
Obviously, they want that insurance goal, but they're just passing it around the back, waiting for the opening, being patient with it. They don't need to throw everyone forwards.
Posa too far in for Tiefel that time. Women's game coming up next after the conclusion of this one. Strong header there from Fernandez that nearly ends up in a breakaway for Tiefel. Nifty move there from Cascone to get it ahead to James Smith.
Jaheim Smith was another player who, when he came on at the weekend against Lincoln Memorial, I thought he played really well.
He has played really well in his time, at least according to his coaching staff. Another guy that's played really well recently is Montano, the guy that just cleared that out. He's got the ball right there. You see Montaleo Lobo and Harry Rowe next to each other there on the bench. Rowe's up and about.
I think we'll see Harry Rowe on the pitch again before the 90 minutes are over.
Assuming he clears concussion protocol, because I think that's the question.
Yeah.
Danny Fernandez has been more active in the Bears' offense tonight, I think. Cascone chips it in for Tiefel, who then pops it ahead to Smith. Can he get there? And he has his first Bear goal! Comes right off the bench and doesn't miss a beat. It's 2-0 Lenoir-Rhyne.
He deserves that as well. From how he
Totally.
played at the weekend, he didn't get a goal then, but I thought he put in a really good effort at the weekend, and he deserves his goal.
Cascone picks up the assist, as does Tiefel. And an offense that was sleepy after the weather delay wakes up. Perfect pass from Cascone to Tiefel. And a 2-goal first half at home for the Bears. What a job there by Jaheim Smith. Doesn't blink. Could be a little bit of a big spot in a rivalry game for a freshman, but he just comes in and takes care of his business.
He has such good movement off the ball as well. If you watch him, he's always moving, he's always trying to create space. Again now, like I say, he deserves it.
Ollie Gardner tries to work that far side. Cascone's been in the middle of everything tonight for the Bears. Jack Winter told me the other day that once Victor Cascone's time is done in an LR uniform that he deserves a statue. This one's chipped in as well, but nobody home. Smith and Bohiguis both there for the Bears. And I think that's going to be a corner. Maybe just a throw in the corner. It is. And we might see our first card of the night, is that one.
The Bears want a card for
They
that.
do, and I think they're going to get it. Victor Cascone is down now, and Jack Winter is not happy. He is on the other side of his midline. That's Simona Trenton. Just spiked Victor Cascone there in the leg, and I think Jack Winter thinks that's red card territory. But you can't do that against... It's not like Victor Cascone, I mean, he's the reigning SAC player of the year. He plays the game the right way. He doesn't do anything.
That's the problem when people know your name. Is run the risk of people going in to put hard tackles on you.
That's just a cheap shot there, though.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call it what it is. And I'm with Jack Winter. I mean, referee's got to be really careful now, because what does Catawba have to lose? I mean, that was an obvious yellow card right on the fringe of red card territory. Posa in. Goalkeeper Tomasi screaming, get it out. You can hear him from here. Just glad that Victor Cascone is okay, because that would have been a tragedy if he got hurt on a play, on a dirty play like that.
Catawba are pressing with a lot more intensity now.
Perfect header from Cascone to Smith. Not great spacing there between Smith and Bohiguis, but it stays in. And now Bohiguis. Nifty move, and the shot is errantly wide into the pole vault pit behind.
You could see what he's trying to do. He's trying to open up his body and curl it into that far post, but opened up a bit too much.
opened up the perfect amount a week ago at Coker from right about the edge of the left bench on the field all the way in, top shelf. It's actually turned into a pretty pleasant night after the weather delay, and we got some hard rain earlier. The pressure has backed off for Catawba after a couple minutes of heavy pressure in that offensive zone. Nifty move there from Tiefel, but just a stride too far for Poza.
Ollie Gardner's there at the back to clear up the danger.
His back three have been rock solid tonight. Fernandez, Montano, and Gardner. Here's Gardner on the far side. And then Montano on the near side. Spark plug Jaheim Smith off the bench. So we're under a minute to go in the first. Christian Dibb too far.
All the way back to Coleman, and the Bears will just take their time in this last minute now, just run down the clock.
Christian Dibb and Nico Bohiguis for the Bears, both from Valencia, Spain, so I would think that the chances are pretty high that they were acquainted before they came stateside. $20 to go in the first, maybe one last chance for the Bears. Smith wins it, and here we go. Jaheim already has one goal in this one, and well done that time by Andrew Twamley, the center back, to force the corner and halftime. So we played 45. We got interrupted in the middle by the Lightning. The Bears got a goal before the weather delay and one after, and lead Catawba 2-0 as we've reached halftime in game one here at Moretz. Don't go anywhere. We're 15 minutes away from the second half, and then the women's game after that. So lots of soccer to play here on a Wednesday night in Hickory. Welcome back to the Moretz Sports Complex and the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing on this cool Wednesday night from Hickory. Lenoir-Rhyne leads Catawba 2-0 after one half, a half that was interrupted by a weather delay. That's why we're 2 hours from kickoff and only at halftime. We're finishing up halftime. Eric Bach and Jacob Parkinson. So grateful and happy you're along with us on this Wednesday night. Bears got a goal early from Benny Gienizer and a goal late from Jaheim Smith. They've had a couple of injury issues. Harry Rowe went down with a maybe potential concussion, but it looks like he's back in. So he has cleared concussion protocol and back in. Carlos Montaleo-Lobo looked a little worse potentially. He was already nursing a groin coming in and went down holding that very same groin. So I would think that his night is done. But Jacob, good to see Harry Rowe back after a scary collision with his own keeper, Camden Coleman.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. Head injuries can be so dangerous, especially when it looked like it was an elbow to the back of the head for Harry. But yeah, they took him off, done the concussion protocol, and he's fine. But I was more concerned for Cascone in the first half. It looked like it was on the receiving end of a nasty challenge, and the coach wasn't too happy, but he seems to have luckily not got injured for it. But it was a dangerous challenge.
Yeah, it was, and it led to a yellow card to Simona Trenton for Catawba. The only card we've had so far tonight. Catawba coming off a close loss to Wingate. Bears have won 3 straight in sack play. And that goes back to LR going left to right here now in this second half. It's the speedster Jaheim Smith down the far sideline. Not able to take it there from the big physical defender for Catawba, Andrew Twamley. Ollie Gardner. Don't forget the women's game is coming up. That is, at least on paper, the bigger of these two games, just because of the way how close Catawba and LR are at the top of the standings. Catawba, a couple of league losses on the men's side. Know that after they battled 3 times in the spring season, the women for LR and Catawba, they were in the same pod. Each game was 1-0. Twice for the Bears, once for the Indians. You know that our next game is going to be a battle. Danny Nicosia will be with me on that one. But still a long way to go in this one. Bear men trying to take care of their business, already with a 2-goal first half.
I've said it a few times when I've been watching the Bears, but I think the most important thing for them now is to keep a clean sheet.
Yep.
They've won the majority of their last few games, but keeping a clean sheet, they seem to do well for about 85 minutes or so.
Yes. Nifty move there from Gienizer between the legs. Maybe got a little too fancy. But Fernandez able to play it off his chest and in. Victor Cascone. Yeah, Bears lost back-to-back games in mid-September. One of them here to Limestone 2-0. That's their only league loss. That is who Catawba plays next on Saturday. Play the Saints of Limestone. But since then, since that 2-0 loss here on this very field, 2-1 win at Barton, 2-1 double overtime win at Coker, then obviously the 4-1 win against Lincoln Memorial. Smith was offside there. Third time the Bears has been offsides tonight. I agree with you, Jacob, that this second half for the Bears should be more defensive focused than offensive.
Yeah, obviously, still go up, still
of course,
try and score that.
Take your chances,
that goal, but yeah, there's no need to take too many risks.
Camden Coleman's had a couple of close calls tonight. Made one really nice save that was definitely going to the back of the net had he not tipped it wide. And then obviously had the scary crash with Rowe that luckily both players turned out okay. And the Catawba player that was in there came out of it unscathed.
The Bears have done a good job defensively to stop Coleman having to do all that much, really. But when he has been called upon, he's been good. He's made a few good saves.
As he has the entire year. Hasn't done too much. Has done exactly what they've asked of him.
You don't want your keeper to have to make loads and loads of saves. It shows that you're not doing something right defensively.
It speaks to the defense in front of him, too, and they've been phenomenal tonight. Fernandez with the ball now to Montano on the far side. We saw Diego Delgado start, but I would be surprised if we saw him again because he was one of the ones that was a little bit under the weather health-wise coming in. Montano came in for him about, 10 minutes in, would you say? And has been in the game ever since and has been phenomenal on that far side. Well, he was playing on the near side in the first half, but left back. First goal belongs to that man, Benny Genizer, gave it off to Poza, and the second goal belongs to Jaheim Smith. His first goal as a Bear. And Genizer's second as a Bear, but second in as many games. He scored his first career goal on Saturday night here against Lincoln Memorial in what was easily the Bears' most complete performance of the season. This one's poked in on the far side. A little bit too high for Genizer. And a nice job there by Nate Burns of Catawba to take the right angle to it and clear it out. Burns just a redshirt freshman from Charlotte to Mallard Creek High School. It's a good mix of Americans versus international players for Catawba. Bears are about 75-25, I would say. But in the playing group, it's almost exclusively international.
I think I'm right in saying that Camden Coleman's the only American
the
Bears playing.
Camden from Virginia, but on the field. And Jaheim Smith is from Florida.
Oh,
He's the other on the field right now that is from the U.S. Jack Winter, obviously from the UK himself, a very strong international recruiter. Here's a good chance for Catawba on the far side. That's Savajar, their leading scorer, hits the post and ends up with a goal kick. But
the Bears got lucky there, really.
Yeah, Tom Savajar, who leads Catawba with 4 goals, and including the game winner against Coker, first time we've said his name tonight, hit the outside of the post, so it wasn't a gigantic threat, but still a post is a post.
Another thing I've noticed about the Catawba team is there's quite a lot of juniors and freshmen on there. And there's not too many seniors in comparison to the Bears team, which is...
There's not one single senior on Catawba, at least by classification. There's a few redshirt juniors and stuff, but people didn't lose their year in the COVID year, didn't lose their year of eligibility. That's why you see so many Bears back. And the Bears so senior heavy, bit of a change there. I mean, Cascone's a senior, Fernandez is a senior, O'Higuas is a grad student, Montaleo Lobo's a senior.
Which is why it's such a positive thing that Jaheim Smith is Yeah, he's come in. He scored his first goal.
He's found his niche in this senior heavy lineup. Obviously, it was by necessity tonight with Monteleo Lobo going down, but Jack Winter's got to feel good about the replacements that are coming for these guys that will be leaving Hickory after this school year. It's another senior on the ball, Jaime DeManuel. Pops it in. Posa just misses. Oh, that was his chance. He's had so many close calls the past few games and narrowly misses the left post there. Jaime from Madrid, another senior. 2 goals in the spring, according to the coaching staff, one of the most clever players they have. Just has not been able to find the back of the net. Others have picked up the slack, with Tiefel coming back. He had a hat trick. And there's somebody that was offside. I think that was Savajar back there. First time Catawba's been offside tonight. 12 minutes into this second half. Just the one good chance for the Indians. Feels like Catawba's got to get one in the next 5-ish minutes if they want a chance here tonight.
Yeah, well, they've still got time. If they get one before 80 minutes, they can still pile on the pressure for the last 10 minutes.
Big game with the number 14th ranked Catawba Indians coming up about half an hour after the conclusion of this game. There's a foul on the Bears on the far side, so a free kick coming in for Catawba. Here it comes. Coleman pops it out with his fist. And Cascone able to catch up with it and try to pop it ahead. This is DeManuel. Has a goal from about this distance this year. Ooh. Nice play defensively there for Catawba. I believe that was Allerton, it was.
And Benny Genise was wide open on that right-hand side, but no one had seen him.
Benny's turning into a goal-scoring machine these last couple games.
He's skillful on the ball as well. He doesn't mind taking a player on.
Corner coming for Catawba. Second one of the night for the Indians. The last couple of minutes have been maybe their best offensively.
I would say so, yeah. They had that shot that hit the post, and then since then they've looked more dangerous.
Allerton will take it, who just made the nice defensive play on the other side. Lots of moving and shaking, and the corner's too far for everybody. Can't squander those opportunities if you're Catawba, and they do so there. So Genizer will take the throw deep in their own zone. Oh, a perfect pass, but offside was...
No penalty, says the ref.
He was offside. The
He was offside.
linesman had his flag up in the air before there was any contact. Jack Winter upset about something. He's upset with Jaime DeManuel there on the ball.
Tell him to switch on.
Yep. It's rare to see Jack get that animated. He's the ultimate cool customer. He's picked up his 50th career win last week and then number 51 on Saturday, year number 6. Had a fascinating conversation with him about Cascone and Fernandez in preparation for that feature that's dropping next week, about his placement and how deliberate he is about placing guys in summer leagues. Here's a chance for Catawba right in the middle, and they're on the board.
And that's been coming for the last 5 minutes or so.
Perfect pass there from Savajar. Ends up in the back of the net. Might have been Murillo, Nico Murillo, who now has his 4th goal of the season. But you're right, that has been coming, and we said that. Yep, Murillo's got his 4th of the year to tie for the team lead, and now the lead's cut in half. It's 2-1.
Like I said, ever since they hit the post, they've looked more dangerous.
Yes.
It sort of woke them up. They had a bit more confidence. And then after that, they just kept going for it. The Bears didn't really know how to respond.
Not many quality chances, but Catawba makes the most of that one. This is a whole new ball game now with 29 minutes to go.
Yeah, the Bears can't really sit back
Nope.
on a 1-goal lead. It's too, I think it's too risky. They've got to get that insurance goal again.
Catawba is very capable, and they're used to playing in close games, too. I mentioned earlier they've had 4 double overtime decisions this year. 2 of them ended in a draw, 1 win and 1 loss. And basically all of their games have been close. I mean, all but 2 were within 1 goal, win or lose. Another pretty quality chance here, but it's snuffed out by Fernandez. Benny Genizer with a misplay there.
Just he had no one shouting to him, man on, telling him there was a guy coming. He just let the ball roll to the opposition.
Victor Cascone makes everybody take a breath, just sits on it for a second.
The Bears need to calm down. They need to get cool heads again. They're making a few poor decisions on the ball.
Noah Tiefel's basically been erased out of this game, the leading scorer coming in for the Bears. Jaheim Smith gets bumped there by Twamley, but no call. That's just a bigger guy.
Offside.
Yep. Murillo, who just scored the goal for Catawba, was too far. Nico, a junior from Colombia. Only guy on either side from, at least on the field right now, from Latin America. Referee stops the clock and redirects Fernandez about where he needs to be taking that free kick from. Tiefel goes high for that one, but doesn't end up with it after Zurovsky and him collided in midair. Now Harry Rowe set up the first goal. Had a nice ball in there, but Nobody home, and now Genizer runs around it. Jaime Poza. Nobody there again, but still a Bear ball for now. But Catawba gets it out. Great slide tackle there by Jaime Poza.
Out to Genizer again.
Perfect two-man game. Jaime DeManuel went down, and much to the Bears' dismay, no whistle. Didn't look like a whole lot of contact there. Smith in, but too far. A couple of centers there too far. This one goes to Catawba. Foot race there between Smith and Lewis Moore. That was won narrowly by Moore, who will take the throw in.
I think Smith's got to be one of the fastest on the team for the Bears.
Easily.
He's always running as well.
Yep, and he goes from 0 to 60 in a very short amount of time. It does not take him any time to really get rolling like it does some other people. There's a center. Rowe has been on point with those centers he's a left-footed player from that left side, and the first one led to the first goal from Genizer, but the Bears have not been able to capitalize on his placement of those passes in. Victor Cascone is the quarterback of the Bear offense. His head's always on a swivel. Just saw him there. Knew exactly where everyone was, and I think, was that offside there?
No, it can't have been offside. I don't think. It might have been.
The linesman on the near side had his flag up in the air.
It was offside then.
Not exactly. Didn't see who it was. Just under 24 to go. A couple of goals in the first half for the Bears, one in the second for Catawba. And would you agree in saying that Catawba's had the better chances here in the second half?
Yeah, I think they've looked the better team in the second half. I think the Bears dominated the first half.
Easily, yep.
Easily, yep. And then Catawba have come out in the second half, looked a completely different team. And I think they're giving the Bears a few problems now.
They came out of the weather delay strong, as that's a foul on Catawba. I believe that's Gage Bernard that gets whistled there, and Cascone is down. Not a sight you want to see.
No.
I don't think there was anything malicious about that tackle there. I think it was just two guys going for the ball, unlike the tackle earlier that led to the card.
It looked like it was it Cascone that's gone down?
Yeah, I think
it looked like he was going for the ball and
shin
he
to
just followed
shin
through, yeah.
With Bernard there. The problem with going down on this grass too, it's still got to be soaking wet. I think Victor just got a bit of a Charlie horse there. Looks to be okay.
He'll walk it off.
Jaime Poza wins that foul from Savager. The Jaimes, DeManuel and Poza, are probably the two best at winning fouls on this Bear team. Couple of subs waiting to come in for the Bears at the next Bear throw-in. Looks like Bohiguis is over there. We saw him in the first half after Rowe went off.
I think the Bears definitely need to make some sort of change, and they are doing now, like you say, but it's clearly not been working for them in the second half.
Jaheim Smith able to get that one past the defender after Rowe popped it in. And a Bear throw-in, so here come the subs. It is Bohiguis.
It's G-Nizer that goes off this time, though.
Now entering for the Bears, number 12, Colton Eliason.
And Colton Eliason for the Bears also in. That's a little bit of a surprise. We haven't seen him too much in league play. Colton, another American, sophomore from Lakeland, Florida. Not a bad ball in there by Bohiguis, but it's headed out by Catawba. Eliason's hometown, Lakeland, Florida, the spring training home of my Detroit Tigers. Is baseball any type of a thing in England, Jacob?
No.
I didn't think
no,
so.
We have a game called Rounders, which is very much like baseball, but it's not actually played at any sort of level. It's just a game you play at high school.
Smith was right there and commits the foul. Twamley's upset about it and demonstrating what happened with Smith to the referee. He got the whistle. I don't know what he's so mad about. That's a big man getting taken down there by Smith, so I'm not saying there was some embellishment there, but I'm also not saying there wasn't. Pass a little bit behind Bohiguis there from Tiefel, who's not happy with his teammate. Under 20 to go. Cascone got a foot on that one as it flew about a foot off the ground.
Good ball in.
Harry Rowe. I was going to say the ever-persistent Harry Rowe got all the way to the corner and was able to somehow get that. I think it might have gone between the legs of a Catawba defender.
Managed to squeeze it through somehow.
Posa not able to finish it. Bears weren't quite ready for that goal kick from keeper. I think we've got a different keeper now. That's Zach Stifler in net for Catawba after Tomasi gave up a couple in the first half. Stifler, redshirt freshman from Jacksonville, North Carolina. He lived in Jacksonville, North Carolina this past summer. Smith bumped off by Twamley. Seems like the Bears are comfortable in close games. They certainly don't make it very easy for themselves. You know, they dominated this first half, had a couple of goals, but have come out kind of flat here in the second half. Maybe not anymore. Bohiguis kicks it off the end line. And they say it's a goal kick for Catawba. Looked like a good chance there initially for Bohiguis, but it was quickly shut off by the Indians.
I think the Bears are just starting to get back into the second half now. They've had more of the chances over the last 5 minutes.
Here comes Catawba now down the far side. They have to just send it back to the keeper, Coleman.
When they do put Coleman under pressure like that, he does deal with it quite well.
He never gets, it's interesting watching keeper's body language too. And he's always at a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 emotional-wise. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low.
Yep.
Even when things are intense in front of him, he's never really yelling and screaming like you see some keepers. Obviously, the communication is there, and we're going to have a card here, I think, on Tiefel, who gives Catawba player a pat on the shoulder as he's down there. That was Twamley who went down. And a yellow on Noah, the first card of the night on the Bears. 1 each now. As Trenton picked up a yellow in the first half for Catawba. 16:03 to go. So we're getting near crunch time here at Moretz. Birch gets fouled there by Ollie Gardner. You could hear him bellow out when I think he got hit by the ball more than Gardner. Got to be careful here if you're the Bears.
You don't want to give too many of these free kicks away.
Nope, especially not on this half. This third, I should say.
It's a little bit too central for a good cross in, though.
That's a good point. Christian Dibb will take it. Freshman from Valencia, Spain. Coleman. Oh, it's free and in! No, they say no goal. Coleman knocked it down. Let's see what the referee has here. And the clock is stopping at 14:52, but Coleman gave up a rebound there, and we'll see what becomes of it. Looked like Coleman was...
If he had the ball in both hands and then it got knocked out of him, then the referees made the right call.
This is going to be wiped off the board for Catawba. And Ken Hassler, the head coach for Catawba, is unhappy about it. I don't blame him. I mean, this late in the game, just have a goal get wiped off the board is got to be a frustrating feeling. But it was close. I mean, Coleman definitely didn't catch it clean off the initial shot, and the ball was down, and the officials are talking, and they've scored the goal now. The linesman and the referee got together and decided to change the call. They initially wiped it off, but they have awarded the goal to Catawba, and we're all square two here, under 15 to go.
I mean, where we're stood, we don't have the best of views and we don't have the replays to see, but like I said, if Coleman had the ball in both hands and it got knocked out of him, then the right call was made originally to disallow the goal.
I just don't know.
Ball by himself, then it's no goal.
I don't know how you can initially decide no goal and then get together. I don't know what could have changed to the referee initially ruled no goal immediately without hesitation, and then Ken Hassler threw a fit down there on the sideline, and the linesman and the referee got together, and now the referee is going to talk with Jack Winter about it.
Well, clearly the referee thought he knew, made the decision by himself, and then the linesman
must have talked him out of...
must have thought he'd seen something different.
Wiping off the goal, but either way, that's about as close as it gets, but here we are, all square at 2.
It's a sloppy goal for the Bears to concede.
It is, because Coleman gave up the rebound.
Yeah.
I know the ball's slippery, but off the free kick in, seemed like a fairly straightforward save for him, and he gives up a rebound, and it ends up in the back of the net. We're still waiting to hear who the goal is awarded to for Catawba.
I mean, all blame can't go on Coleman.
Nope.
Two free kicks were given away consecutively just before that, which led up to this goal.
Totally agree.
Obviously, it was Coleman that made the mistake that actually put the ball in the back of the net, but without them 2 free kicks, it would never have happened.
They're giving the goal to Savigar, so he picks up his 5th goal of the season. He's the leading scorer for Catawba and has been so clutch. He's been the Victor Cascone of Catawba's team, scoring goals late, has a couple of game winners. So the Englishman knots things up here at 2.
That's the only positive about that goal.
That it was scored by an Englishman?
Yep.
Here's a free kick in for the Bears, but the new goalie, Zach Stifler, was able to hold on to that one and boot it almost the length of the field to his counterpart. Bears kind of took their foot off the gas here. There's another turnover. Savigar in, and Montano's not able to keep it out. It's a 3-goal second half for Catawba, and they've come storming back to take the lead.
Gardner messing around at the back with the ball, taking too long. Dispossessed on the ball, and then they're trying to make up for his mistake, but couldn't quite. A poor second half for the Bears.
Solano Birch, the 3 leading scorers for Catawba, find the back of the net here in the second half. First Murillo, then Savigar, now Birch, the Jamaican freshman from Montego Bay, gives the Indians the lead with under 13 to go here on the road. What a second half for Catawba.
I don't know if it's so much a good performance second half-wise for Catawba or just a poor performance from the Bears, or maybe a bit of both.
I think it's got to be a combo of both. I mean, you got to give Catawba credit where credit is due. They have taken advantage of their chances here in the second half. The Bears have given them chance after chance, and they've finally taken advantage of a few of them. There's another misplay.
I'd say Catawba's first goal was good attack from them. But
totally agree. But the last two
were just mistakes, poor mistakes from the Bears that could have been avoided.
Right there with you on that one. The first one, Catawba took the length of the field and had a perfect center. Second one was a couple of free kicks given up by the Bears and then a misplay by Coleman. And now this third one was Gardner and company in front of the goal messing around, and Catawba has taken advantage.
Yeah, like you say, still all credit to Catawba because they've had to put the pressure on to force them mistakes.
And they've done it. Still 12 minutes to go here. And now a card coming. This is on Allerton. That was a quick one out of the pocket of the referee. Allerton loses shin guard? Yes, he did. He's putting it back on.
There's been a few heavy challenges throughout this whole game.
You go back to the decision for the referees after they initially disallowed the second goal to allow it to stand.
Yep. They need to talk to each other there, the defenders and the goalkeeper. They got away with it then, but I didn't hear any shouting.
Nice move there by Tiefel. Centers it up, but D'Emanuel was not in position. Turn to Cascone and Tiefel. Those are the two names that come to mind here in these last 11. And I think that was a foul? Handball, maybe? Right in front of the Bear bench there on the far side.
This has turned into a very exciting second half. This
It has.
last 10 minutes is going to be quite special.
A 3-goal second half for Catawba. The Bears got both of their goals in the first half. They've been held off the scoreboard here in the second. Had a weather delay. That's why we're still playing the first game here after we already should have started the second women's game, but there was a 40-minute weather delay in the middle of the first half of this game, so that slowed us down tonight. Plenty of time for the Bears still, but they've got to stop messing around in their own defensive zone, because Catawba, rightfully so, is putting the pressure on. It's worked for them beautifully here these last 15 minutes.
The Bears just keep taking that little bit too much time on the ball at the back.
Coleman plays it outside of his box. As Savagar, who scored the second goal, was bearing down. We talked about this second half needing to be defensive focused for the Bears, and it's been the opposite. They've given up a 3 spot here in the second half.
Not the best performance defensively. And this is something I've seen with the Bears. They play so well and they hold the fort for so long, and then once one goes in, they sort of they lose their heads.
Bohiguis centers it up, but to nobody. Harry Rose able to run it down, and then he centers it up. Cascone there in the middle. So is Tiefel, but too high is Jaime D'Emanuel. 8.5 to go. Clock is stopped now with 8:26 to go, as Catawba's taking their sweet time. Stifler's waiting around back there. Sends it 2/3 of the length of the field.
Looks like the Lenoir-Rhyne are getting ready to bring on a substitute.
Could be Benny Genizer coming back on, I would assume. Has the first goal of the night for the Bears. Tiefel gets that one taken from him, but then takes it back himself. Bohiguis. Blocked by Alvaro Blasquez. Ball's been on this third of the field for quite a while here in the waning minutes. Bears got to find a way to find the back of the net. Holly Gardner. Too far for D'Emanuel, but not too far for Cascone. Rowe misplays it on the outside. Tries to spin back middle. And throws it off a Catawba defender. Sustained pressure here from LR. It'll be a throw-in deep in the Catawba zone. And Benny Gienizer coming back on for Bohiguis.
Now entering for the Bears, number 2, Benny Gienizer. Exiting number 15, Nicholas Bohigues.
I think the Bears could possibly just be focusing on getting crosses in from Gienizer and Rowe in this last 6 minutes or so here, and hoping someone can get on the end of them.
Fernandez in the middle of the box. Catawba can't get it out. Poza had a path, didn't take it. Emmanuel tried to chip it in. Catawba's able to get it out. Catawba's got a man down, no whistle, and now we get one as the Bear bench is beside themselves about it. 5:58 to go. And now the trainer coming on for Catawba. This feels fishy, Jake.
It looked to me like the Catawba player was guilty of a high boot, but it didn't actually look like he hit the shin pad of I couldn't tell which player it was for the Bears, but I don't really know why he's gone down.
And the referee is it was interesting because the Catawba players were telling the trainer to stay off, and the referee was telling her to come on. So,
yeah,
I think the referee feels like he has to bring the trainer on to sell this stoppage.
I don't really get the point of doing it here, because here you stop the clock, whereas at home, obviously people go flying down and just roll around on the pitch for a few minutes, and the clock just carries on.
Yep.
And they'll estimate at the end. They'll add on time,
right,
but they'll never add on the right amount of time. It's always too little. So
at home for you, meaning England,
yeah,
where we have you have stoppage time.
Yeah, we have stoppage time, but it's never right.
There's got to be some formula they have for it, right? But here the clock just stops. I prefer this because I like knowing exactly how much time is left. You know, it's a little subjective when it's stoppage time. But speaking of stoppage, this has been a long one, as Ken Hassler is talking with the referees, and now the head referee has the soccer ball in his hand.
It's going to be a drop ball.
But that was a chance coming for the Bears, and it got stopped because the Catawba player, who seems to be just perfectly fine, took a dive. We've seen a little bit of questionable stuff tonight from Catawba. We saw the dirty play earlier by Trenton on Cascone where he got a yellow card. This feels very fishy because there's no actual injury. The trainer was summoned on by the referee, but shown off the field by the Catawba players. I don't know what we're waiting for. Seems like we're having a prolonged conversation for no reason. And now we finally go. Catawba's able to clear it out.
Ollie Gardner on the ball, passing it back.
Nice redirect there by Fernandez off his chest. Ends up the Bear throw-in.
You can see the urgency in the Bears play now.
Got to. 5:24 to go. Down a goal. And what is happening now? Got subs coming in for Catawba.
They'll take their time.
Ken Hassler throws his hands up in the air as if he has something to complain about. They allowed a goal that they initially disallowed for Catawba. That whole circus a couple minutes ago seemed to very much benefit the Indians. And offside there was Fernandez, so back to Catawba it goes.
The Bears have proven in their last few games, though, they can score in the dying minutes of the game.
They have. That is a very good point.
If you're Catawba, you can't switch off until the final whistle.
Catawba ball on this near side here. And now back to the Bears. Got to think there's maybe one or maybe two runs and chances left for LR.
Genies is on the right-hand side if anyone can spot him.
They cannot.
Wide open as well.
They do find Harry Rowe on that far left side. Ball's up in the air. Catawba gets it out for a moment. Kept in by Ellison. A chance for Genizer as Catawba defender fell down. And a big clear out of there. As Coleman comes out of his box dangerously. Under 3 to go. Here's a pass on the far side for Harry Rowe. And gets deflected out by Zarofsky. Right in the middle. Tifo shoots! Oh, it's just wide. Oh, it missed by inches.
And this is what I mean. Catawba can't switch off until the final whistle. They got lucky there. Just narrowly missed. But the Bears are looking dangerous, and there's 2 more minutes to go. They can get 1 or 2 more chances.
Man, oh man. That was so close. It's a game of inches and centimeters. And a foul there on Fernandez. That's a costly one. I do think probably the right call, though.
Hopefully for the Bears, a few of the Catawba players will go up and they can get a counter from this and quickly go from one end to the other.
Catawba trying to stall, but the referee stops the clock.
We'll see how many Catawba leave behind in their own half. It looks like they're going to leave quite a few behind the ball. They're
Wouldn't
leaving
you?
4 of their own players behind the ball to stop this counter
They
attack.
don't need to score.
They don't, no. 6 players behind the ball.
Yeah, only 3 in front. Christian Dibb takes it. This is almost the exact same spot that Catawba got their second goal from earlier.
And that's a sensible approach.
And offside were the Indians. And now here come the Bears. 1.5 minutes to go. Bears got to find the equalizer here in the last 90 seconds.
On the right.
Yep, here he is. Need a good run from him. Victor Cascone bends it out to Harry Rowe. The best chances for the Bears tonight have come from this exact situation. Rowe sends it in. Tifo heads! Oh, it's just over the crossbar. Oh, again by inches.
And that came from Harry Rowe again on that left-hand side. Only just over the bar. The Bears are knocking on the door, but they can't quite get through.
It was actually Poza. Tifo missed the last one. Poza missed this one. Oh, man.
There you go. Catawba players taunting the fans.
Now they stop the clock with 47 seconds to go as Stifler is waiting and waiting and waiting 47.5 to go. Bears have got to get something off of this goal kick.
They've been unfortunate not to score in this last 5 minutes.
Yes, they really have. Coleman pops it ahead to Harry Rowe.
One last attack for the Bears.
This is it. This is it. Victor Cascone on the far side. Bear throw in. Back to him. Pop it ahead. Can Victor run it down? They play on, but a goal kick. And with 12 seconds to go,
I think that's the game.
This is probably it. And there we go. A 3 spot in the second half gives Catawba a huge road win here in Hickory. That one hurts for the Bears.
It was an exciting finish. Exciting last 10 minutes, but the Bears couldn't quite get the goal they were looking for. And Catawba defended well in the end.
They did. They were fortunate to not see the ball go into the net there. A couple of fantastic chances for the Bears in the last 5 minutes, but Catawba was able to keep the ball out of the net and win a tough, hard-fought road game here in Hickory. 3-2 the final for Jacob Parkinson and the rest of our crew. Eric Bach saying, we'll see you later in about 25 minutes for Game 2. First place in the South Atlantic Conference on the line between the Catawba and Bear women coming up next on the Bear Sports Network.